Happy Monday to you guys. You know what it is. It's Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Welcome to a Monday edition. Man, bombshell breaking news out of the NFL today. Dak Prescott signed a 4-year deal worth up to $160 million to $164 million, man. $126 guaranteed, about $42 million a year, man. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that because I know everybody wants to know about that, what's going on with that. The NBA had their All-Star game last night. They kind of compiled everything together to make one night. The skills competition, 3-point slam dunk, the game was thrown all in there. I'll talk about that to give you guys my thoughts on that as well. Blake Griffin is on the move. He was bought out by his contract from the Detroit Pistons last week, sat out a little bit. Now he's signing with the Brooklyn Nets reportedly. So we're gonna kind of take a dive into what the Brooklyn Nets are looking at and what their thoughts were when they decided to sign him. Also, Steph Curry, man, is he the greatest shooter of all time in basketball history? I believe so. Let me know what your comments on that are. And finally, did you guys check out the Bleacher Report 2-on-2 game this Saturday between Quavo, Jack Harlow, Lil Baby, and 2 Chainz? Straight comedy. I can't wait to talk about that. So I'll close out the show with that. But other than that, man, I got a great show in store for you guys tonight. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Clutch Sports Talk Live with Ryan Flowers is presented by Also Digital Sports, the future in sports media content. You heard? Welcome in, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope your weekends were pretty enjoyable. I can't complain on my end here today, man. I had a lot busy as usual, but I'm glad to give you guys another edition of Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Make sure if you're watching live right now, I appreciate that. Man, drop a comment. Let me know what's up. How you doing? How's your day going? If you have any questions you want me to answer, I'll be more than happy to talk about that as well too. And you might have questions tonight because we got some breaking news out of the NFL. And also make sure you hit me up on my social media platforms. You'll see it scrolling right down there below with the ticker. I'm on Instagram at clutch.sports.talk. I'm on Twitter at clutch_talk and YouTube. Search Clutch Sports Talk and Facebook under Ryan Flowers. So jam-packed show. Hope you guys are doing well. We got lots to get into tonight, but I want to begin tonight's show. Breaking news out of the NFL. Dak Prescott has signed a 4-year extension deal worth up to $160 million and almost $164 million with $126 million guaranteed. He'll be paid $42 million roughly per year for the next 4 years. Man, this is long overdue. Everyone's been talking about this for months now. The Cowboys have had several deadlines to sign this dude, to extend him, to tag him. I had to change my show up just a little bit because I was going to talk about Dak, but I was going to talk about the Cowboys with a deadline because if they didn't sign him tonight, they would have probably have to go ahead and tag him because the deadline was tomorrow. And if they did franchise tag him, they would have to pay him about $37.5 million. But they ended up just signing him for a 4-year deal, extending him. So he'll be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback for the next 4 years. Basically, he's going to be coming back after that gruesome injury he suffered, I believe, in week 5 in the NFL season against the New York Giants. Now, my thoughts on this. Now, a lot of people are not happy, especially in Cowboys Nation, which I understand. It's a lot of money. A lot of people don't believe in this guy. They don't think he's worth the money. So, and I can get that. I get it. I mean, yes, he throws up a lot of yards. He's done that the last couple of years or so, and it hasn't really resulted in wins. But we all know football is a team sport. Now, he hasn't been given the best team to kind of play with. Now, he did get hurt, and there's been some times where he hasn't shown that he was the guy. But I would say overall, he is the guy for the job. I think the Cowboys can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. Now, as far as the contract is concerned, it's a lot of money, and it will kind of handicap or handcuff the Cowboys just a tad, just slightly, I would say. Well, maybe not slightly. Well, they did offer him his money up front guarantees $126 million. So with that guarantee money kind of pushed up to the front, it kind of does allow them to have some wiggle room because this team, where do they lack the most right now? Is on the defensive side of the ball. So I think in their mindset, the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, their mindset is to go, hopefully I would think, is to go into this draft and just go all out on the defensive side. They need to get better on the defensive line. Their linebacking core, obviously, you got 2 guys in Jalen Smith and the Leighton Vander Esch, who's always kind of been hurt. Jalen Smith did not live up to his contract. Our secondary definitely needs a revamping, especially the safety position and some of the corners. Now we need to find someone that can kind of pair up with Trevon Diggs. He had a pretty decent year as a rookie, so maybe the Cowboys are looking into the draft as an opportunity to go out and get some defensive talent. But as far as the Dak Prescott deal is concerned, I'm happy for the dude, man. Like he went. Here's the thing with Dak. He doesn't complain. He shows up when he needs to do. He shows up when he has to. He's a tremendous leader in the locker room. Guys will play through a wall for him. Especially what happened with everything last year going into the whole, the social environment that was going on. He kept kept quiet. Doesn't mean he doesn't care about what's going on in the world, but he stayed to himself. He worked on his craft. He started off really good, up until the injury. And who knows what would have happened if he didn't get hurt. But the Cowboys definitely need a quarterback, and they need a star quarterback, and that's what they have now. The Dallas Cowboys are a much better watch with Dak Prescott than Andy Dalton. In Cowboy Nation, there's a bunch of crazies out there. Some people probably would think that Andy Dalton is just as serviceable as Dak Prescott. No way in hell. Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton at this point in this game. Hands down. And if you don't feel that, then obviously you don't believe in him. I believe in Dak Prescott. Is he Patrick Mahomes? No, he's not Patrick Mahomes. Is he Aaron Rodgers? No, he's not Aaron Rodgers. But he doesn't need to be. We've seen in this league that if you have competent quarterback play, you can win a lot of games and be successful. And obviously you have to have competent coaching as well. Now, they got some talent on the Cowboys. I'm not sure with the competent coaching yet. I don't know. You look at what Tom Brady did. Obviously, he left New England, came down to Tampa Bay. Didn't really, he had a great season, don't get me wrong, but let's just be real. That defense won them the Super Bowl this past February, right? So, but he was very I would say more than serviceable to get them to that point. Dak Prescott definitely has all the tools. There's some things he does need to clean up, his accuracy, stuff like that. But he's definitely a threat. Now we're going to have to see how he comes off with this leg injury. Is he going to be better? We don't know for sure, but I put my faith in Dak. This guy has had to deal with a lot of adversity and throughout his life. If you've never taken the time to watch his story, you should. I think there's a documentary they did on him a few years ago. I think you can probably watch it on YouTube. I think it's called Dak Prescott Homecoming. It kind of details, it's like a 45-minute documentary. It details his life as far as all the things and struggles that he has had to go through. So for him, hearing the naysayers, the doubters, I don't think it phases him. He's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Eat that, and he's getting paid. Now, a lot of people don't think he's the greatest, like I said, and for all intensive purposes, I can understand it. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh yeah, we're going to win the Super Bowl off the cuff right now because he's our quarterback. No, there's a lot of pieces in Dallas that needs to kind of be played out in order for them to be successful. But it starts from the organization standpoint. Teams that win championships are strong in leadership. And the Cowboys, we really don't have a strong leader in Jerry Jones. He's, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what he gets paid. He has to overcome one of the most difficult owners to play for is Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones does not allow his teams to breathe. He suffocates them. So Dak, get your money, man. I'm glad you did. I think we're going to have a successful season next year. Hopefully, look, if you look at the division, he's the best quarterback in that division. And there's no argument. There literally isn't. He's the best quarterback in that division. You look at the Giants, Daniel Jones, he's better than him. And if you say anything else than that, you need to get your head checked. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he's unproven still. He's a young guy. And the Washington football team don't even have a quarterback at this point. So you mean to say Taylor Heineke is better than Dak Prescott at this point? The Cowboys should win this division going away, I would say. But it is the Dallas Cowboys. They do choke stuff off. So we don't know. But right now, looking on paper, that's the best team in that division. And people say the NFC East sucks, but hey, you never know, man. This is the National Football League. We've seen it year in and year out. Teams that were sorry one year, all of a sudden just make a move here or miraculously something happens and they're better the next season. So right now, the NFC East was the worst division in football, but who knows? They might be better for it next year. We don't know for sure. So as of right now, I think Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in that division. As far as the NFC is concerned, if you look at the hierarchy, Aaron Rodgers up there, Russell Wilson, who else is out there? Tom Brady, of course. You got to put Tom Brady out there. So that's 3 ahead of him right now. And I'm just talking about the NFC. Can you put Kyler Murray up there? I guess so. But Dak Prescott is at least top 5 in the NFC for sure. So, but people always want to go back to the money and the number. But like I said last week on one of my shows, it's look, in life, especially today, we overpay for a lot of stuff, man. A lot of you right now are sitting at home, through this pandemic. And I read reports that Disneyland is going to be opening up in California, things of that nature. And guess what? People are willing to people were willing to go to Disneyland before the pandemic. Can you imagine what the prices are going to be like now when Disneyland opens up again after pandemic? They got to make up that money and people are going to pay it and it's going to be overvalued. But guess what? People are going to do it. Dak Prescott at some point was going to get paid from somebody. Now, some people would argue, say nobody would pay him. Somebody would. Believe me, there always is somebody, okay? There's always somebody next in line to pay something that you're not willing to pay. When I lived in Texas, I had the honor to go to a couple Cowboys games there. And, there were rumors that if you had a suite in the new stadium, that a large pizza was like $100 or something like that. And people would buy that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think it might have not been $100, but it's going to be more than $15. I'll tell you that. But guess what? People paid for that pizza. People pay $12, $15 for a beer at a sporting event. So there's a market for someone everywhere. So I'm not going to sit here and say, no one was going to pay him. Maybe not 42 million a year, but damn near close because teams are desperate and teams need an identity. Okay. You look at what happened to the Cowboys last year. They got bumped off for the Browns and the Giants. Why? Because Dak Prescott wasn't playing in the game and no one cared to watch the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the most watched team, arguably, in football. And without Dak Prescott, they were pretty unwatchable for the most part. Even as a fan, I just was like, I can't really watch this. Zeke wasn't playing good. Our defense sucked. Our head coach didn't know half the time what the hell he was doing. So, Dak Prescott is worth more than just stats and numbers and figures. And that's what people always look to that. And I get it. You got to have stats. You have to have parameters. But at the end of the day, he's worth more than just the wins. And as a businessman, Jerry Jones is looking at like, well, you know what? It's either we pay him or we tag him again where we have to pay him $37 million for 1 year. And then we have to possibly face the chance of having to pay him more or lose him to free agency and then have to start all over again and look for a brand new quarterback. And honestly, if they weren't picking a quarterback in this year's draft, next year's quarterback draft class is not looking that promising. So they would have been stuck either way. The Cowboys should have took care of this a few years ago when but instead they paid everybody else and they left Dak for last. And guess what? Dak got the last laugh in the end. So I'm not mad he took the money. Most of us would probably take the money. But like I said, is he worth 42 million? Probably not. Is any of these guys worth the money that they are being paid, honestly, at the end of the day? Perhaps, Patrick Mahomes, maybe, but you saw what happened to him. If he doesn't have an offensive line throwing to protect him, is he worth the hundreds of $1,000,000 that he signed? No, he isn't. So at the end of the day, you can't look at yes, you have to look at the wins and losses. But when you get into this debate about yards and stats and all this nerd stuff, it's like, dude, calm down, remove all that stuff from it and just look at the analytics and not the analytics. And at the end of the day, the Cowboys needed to do something. They paid him. They're going to stretch it out. They're going to, and obviously the NFL, the cap is going down this season. So they spread out that money. They put all the money up front so that way they can give themselves some room to go ahead and make deals on the back end, moving forward to the season. I think they're going to be better off for it. Dak Prescott is the man. I love Dak Prescott. He's a great leader. He's a tremendous young man. Never met the dude, just from his actions, how he carries himself, how he moves. He never once said, I'm going to hold out. I'm going to disrespect the team. I'm going to disrespect anybody else, like some other players, which I won't mention. But hey, if anybody had a gripe, it would have been Dak Prescott. But guess what? He's got the last laugh. So for you Cowboy fans who think that it's a terrible move, what move would you have made? What would you want to do going into this next season? Tag him again, see what happens. And what happens if he does ball out? They would have to pay him even more because each year the value of quarterbacks goes up and up and up and up and up. You never catch up. You will never pay anybody the amount of money that they're worth. You overpay for everything. So the next time you go to the store and you buy yourself some Jordans or some Yeezys or anything like that, take a hard look at what you're buying and ask yourself, is it really worth it to pay $300-$400 for a pair of sneakers? And say, you know what? Yeah, it is for me. People will pay what they want to pay when they want to pay it at the end of the day. So if Jerry Jones wants to offer him the money, Go for it. And this whole thing about, oh, he's handcuffing the franchise. Get out of here with that. It is what it is. I mean, these guys are players. It's a privilege to play professional sports. He took the money. They were going to give him the money. It is what it is. So that's my two piece on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I way off? Am I just crazy about this? Or am I kind of coming in from a logical standpoint? So either way, we'll see how it goes. Moving on. So the NBA had their all-star game, or their festivities played last night. They kind of compiled it all together, as you can see in the clips. Domantas Sabonis won the skill challenge. He beat point guard. Who did he beat? And Luka Doncic skill guys. I don't know how big man won this contest, but I guess big man can play. You got the slam dunk competition won by Anthony Simons from the Portland Trailblazers. And then obviously Steph Curry came in and won the 3-point championship. He had to pull it off in the end, but he ended up winning it. And then obviously the game was played, and then the slam dunk competition was completed at halftime. So very interesting, and I get it. I wasn't a fan of them even doing this. Now, I've been watching, sports shows, throughout the day. Some people thought it was the greatest thing. Some people were like, it is what it is. I'm going to tell you this right now, like real talk. Well, first of all, the skills challenge, just get rid of it. It's a waste of time. Who cares? I mean, what skills are they really demonstrating? Throwing a ball through a little hole through the whatever, running down, making a layup. And honestly, if you're getting paid millions of dollars and you can't make a layup fast enough, you probably shouldn't be in the skills challenge. Okay? It is what it is. The 3-point competition, I don't know. It's crazy to me because honestly, there were a few shooters out there, but some of these other guys, I'm like, I remember when I was growing up, when you watch a 3-point contest, there were actually 3-point specialists out there. When I was watching Jaylen Brown and Tatum, like these are great players in their right, but it's like you guys are not like real 3-point specialists. Steph Curry and maybe Mike Conley were the only two guys out there that I can remember that were actually like legit 3-point specialists. But when I was growing up in the mid 90s watching the 3-point contest, you had like Craig Hodges, Mark Price, got like, and those were other guys, like Del Curry. Like these guys, this is what they did. They were 3-point specialists. That's what they did. They weren't slashers. They weren't doing any of that. So, and I get it. The NBA is not getting a lot of participation from a lot of their guys, especially in this COVID pandemic type season situation that we're currently in. But I'm just like, dude, like, yes, Steph Curry won. And, he is the best shooter right now, which I'll talk about that here shortly. But to me, I wasn't really like that jacked up for it. Unlike some of the commentary, I was watching the guys on TNT last night. They were just doing way too much, hyping it all up, making it seem like it was like the greatest event. And I get it. Their network is sponsor or is producing the show. So they want to make sure people are engaged, but it really wasn't all that. I mean, to be honest with you, I watched it because I have a responsibility to watch. If I'm going to report this stuff to you guys, I have to watch it. I can't blindly just come on air and just say, you know what, I'm going to talk about this. I didn't like that, but I have to watch it. And as far as the game is concerned, it sucked. And I'm not going to go too much into detail because at the end of the day, it's an all-star game and I get it. It's not determining anything, but I just don't like the game. Just, Team Durant got blown out. I don't even think Durant was even at the game, and he was a captain. So the slam dunk competition, they just need to get rid of that. If they're gonna do it, I get it. The stars don't want to do it. I understand that. Whatever reason they don't want to do it. I mean, Zion Williamson wasn't even in it. Cautious Stanley, Anthony Simons, a second-year player, and Obi, I forgot his last name, but Obi was in there. And it's like, really? All these guys got hops, but no creativity. I get it. There's so many dunks. There's so many dunks that you can do in this world. But if it was me and I was going to do it, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Call up one of these little street dunker dudes. Pay them a little consultation fee. And be like, hey, man, give me some ideas. Or maybe can I buy some dunks off you or something? Show me. That way we can get a better product. But other than that, just scrap it, man. Maybe keep the 3-point contest. The game itself, no defense, which is fine. I mean, that's what it is. It's an all-star game. And and we'll just keep it moving from there. But again, they probably should have never played it in the first place. I don't think it was responsible to bring a game that means nothing other than the fact you have to get paid. You need sponsorships. Mountain Dew invested a lot of money in it. It's Kia. So that's the reason why they did it. It has nothing to do with the fans because fans weren't really allowed to be there anyway. No fan festivities. So I don't know. NBA, I'm not going to say it was terrible, but I was like, let's just say I was clicking back and forth and watching other stuff because it wasn't all that in the bag of chips, right? All right. Moving right along. So Blake Griffin in the news. He is moving on. He's going to be a member of the Brooklyn Nets. He's going to sign finish up the season with them. We'll see what happens with them. Now, a lot of people are kind of 50-50 on it. Some people think it's a great move. They think Blake Griffin has a lot to offer. And some people are like, it's really not that great of a move because he really isn't doing much. I think he's only shooting 35% from the field. He's like one of the lowest shooting for field goal percentages in the NBA in the last 2 years. He's battled through some knee injuries. So Brooklyn Nets, what were they thinking? I don't know, man. I think they're just trying to stockpile as much talent as they can and see what happens. Blake Griffin does not address any of their defensive needs. They don't need any more scorers. They got enough of those guys. So I'm not sure what role he will fill in Brooklyn, but it seems to me that he's basically looking to chase a championship at this point. And he feels right now the Brooklyn Nets have the best opportunity to win a championship. You look at the Lakers right now, they're kind of struggling without Anthony Davis. So maybe he's like, well, I don't want to be kind of trying to fulfill Anthony Davis's role. I'm good enough to go to Brooklyn, play some type of meaningful minutes, and maybe win a possible NBA championship out of it. And that's why a lot of people, he's going back to Clippers. I doubt it. Doesn't have a good relationship with Steve Ballmer, especially everything that happened on his departure out there. So I'm not sure. But Blake Griffin definitely can still play a little bit in this league. He's not the same guy once, and obviously you can see in the clips, he's not this guy anymore. I mean, occasionally he'll give you, nice play here or there, but he's not the same Blake Griffin from 4 or 5 years ago. Injuries have derailed him a little bit. He's slowing down. And obviously the style of the NBA has kind of, it's changed. It's all about guards that can shoot and score and slash. And he's neither one of those. He's great athletic player, but he's a dunker, but mid-range game, so we'll just have to see what happens with him moving forward. So Blake Griffin heading to the Brooklyn Nets. Not sure how it's going to work out, but I'm not going to say the Brooklyn Nets are the super team now because they have Blake Griffin. They got Blake Griffin at a good deal. It is what it is. So they're moving on. Detroit Pistons are moving on from him, and he's going to look to kind of chase a championship with Kevin Durant and James Harden and Kyrie Irving. So, all right, next, Steph Curry. I got to talk about him. So he won the 3-point contest last night, and then he put on a display in the All-Star game, shooting from him and Damian Lillard. Well, I will say the two best shooters right now in the NBA from anywhere on the court. Literally, these guys were chucking it from half court. On the other side of the court, there was a sequence in the game last night where Damian Lillard came up, shot from half court. He made it. Next sequence, Steph Curry gets the ball, shoots it from half court. He makes it. And then Damian Lillard ended the game with a 3 from half court. So, but Steph Curry, I want to put the onus on him. This guy, dude, like literally, me and my cousin, we always play this game where we ask each other this. If your life was on the line, you needed someone to make a 3-pointer, who would you call? And back in the day, we would say Reggie Miller, Larry Bird, Ray Allen, can't forget him. And then now Steph Curry's in that conversation. So I'll ask you guys this. Who are you trusting with your life to make a 3-pointer, any shot from the court? I got to go with Steph Curry, man. I have to go with him. The guy, if he's in the arena, he's in range. As you can see in some of these clips here, I mean, the guy, he's definitely changed the NBA for sure. The Wizards were trailblazers as far as their style of basketball, the volume of threes, and especially a guy like him where literally he made it cool to be a little dude and just shoot. Up until him, everybody wanted to be a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" wing slasher who can dunk. But now you got kids out on the playground. They're like, dude, I just want to pull up and just shoot, man. You'll play in the NBA a lot longer if you can shoot. Steph Curry will be in this league a lot longer than some of these other guys. Why? Because he has the ability to shoot. He may lose some of his speed, his ball handling skills, but honestly, man, you look what happened to Ray Allen. Look Look how much longer he was able to play in his career. Why? Because the dude could flat out shoot. But Steph Curry is definitely probably the greatest all-time shooter of all time. I don't care what any stats say. People might bring up Larry Bird. Larry Bird was cool, but I don't think Larry Bird was pulling up from half court like that. Just wasn't. Just wasn't. I mean, you've seen this guy make shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. It's it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me that a dude like that is just, he can just shoot so well with the basketball. So for me, I think that Steph Curry definitely is the greatest shooter of all time. Let me know what you guys think about that. Not scorer, because there's a difference between scorer and a shooter. You know, I'm just talking about a guy that you need. Like, if your life was on the line, you need someone to just shoot from anywhere on the court. Because say the person that kidnapped, whoever wants to kill you, like, hey, I'll give you a lifeline. Someone's got to make a half court shot. Who you calling? I'm calling Steph Curry. Then close second, probably Damian Lillard. Because those guys are shooters, man. Those guys are shooters, and they don't care. They just don't care. So, but Steph Curry, man, did his thing. He scored 28 points. Now, he didn't win the MVP, the All-Star game. Giannis did. He put up like over 30, and I think he went 16 for 16 from the floor. But I will tell you this, that 28 was more impressive by Steph Curry because the difficulty of shots that he was making. Giannis was just getting to the rim. He had a few outside shots, but Steph Curry, greatest shooter of all time, in my opinion. So, I mean, we can argue about that until the cows come home. So, all right. Last topic of the night, because I got to get out of here. I don't know if some of you guys checked this out. On Saturday evening on Twitter, Bleacher Report, for those who Bleacher Report, they do like sports and all this type of stuff. They report stuff. They put together an open run of 4 hip hop celebrities, rappers. On one side, it was Quavo, one of the guys from the Migos. For those who don't know who Quavo is, or Quavo Honcho, and Jack Harlow, another promising up and coming rapper. You had Lil Baby and 2 Chainz, both obviously other pretty popular rappers. They competed in a 2-on-2 game for bragging rights. And the proceeds, the winner, I believe, received like some money, $500K each, and they donated it to an HBCU. Quavo and Jack Harlow won the game. Now, out of all these players, Quavo, I think the game went to 21. Quavo had like 14 points or 17 points, and the game was up to 21. The game wasn't even close. Lil Baby, I don't know what the hell he was doing. He looked like a little baby. He was getting just blown out. I mean, literally, he didn't do anything in that game. And I guess leading up to the game, he was talking a lot of mess. And you see here, he looked on a free throw. How do you not miss? How you not even hit the rim on a free throw? 2 Chainz, I'm disappointed in him because he definitely had the size advantage. And for those of you who don't know, 2 Chainz actually played college basketball. And if I'm not mistaken, he played Division I college basketball. So I get it, maybe age and probably some of the ganja. Because I mean, let's just be real. These guys smoke. They smoke. I mean, literally, 5 minutes into the game, these guys were done. They were done. They wanted to call halftime early. But I'll just say this, man. As far as rappers balling, I mean, it was a very novel idea, and people watched it. Hell, I watched it. It was very interesting. It was funny. I wasn't watching it because I wanted to see good basketball. I was watching it because I thought it was entertaining. And it's like watching a car crash, or like when you're on the road and you see a car crash on the other side of the street, and you're supposed to keep your eye on the road, but you just look, not because you're like that intrigued, but it's like you want to see like what's going on here, like how bad is it? And that's kind of why I tuned into it, because a lot of these guys think they can hoop, man. I'm not saying I'm a great hooper. I'm not. And Quavo, he arguably is probably one of the best rappers that can play some basketball. But let's be real. A lot of these guys, that when they play these games that they record and put on their social media, they're playing against their homies. They're playing against guys that are in their crew. You think the guys in that crew want to outshine their actual superstar and not be in that crew anymore? No. So they're going to let them do whatever, right? Then that was obviously evident with Lil Baby, because Lil Baby, what the hell was he doing? He didn't belong there. What I would like to see next is maybe J. Cole, because J. Cole can hoop. We've seen that. I think he played college basketball as well too. And I also want to see the game. Growing up in LA, I used to play basketball, little pickup games at Santa Monica City College, and the game was notoriously known for coming into the gym and hooping, man. And the game is a big dude. So I would like to see maybe those two guys play on one team and maybe take on Quavo and Jack Harlow. But either way, it was amusing. It was fun. But some of these guys just need to stick to rapping, man. It's not for everybody. Basketball players want to be rappers and rappers want to be basketball players. Just keep your day job. That's all I got to say. So that's my time. It was a short show. I got to get out of here, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys like and share this content, man. Please do share with everybody. I appreciate it. It helps me out tremendously. All you got to do is, it's free, man. Just hit the share button for me. If you watched it or you watch it later, if you're watching this later, just hit that share button, man. It means a lot to me because it does take a lot of time for me to do all this. So, hey, I'm not begging. I'm just asking you nicely. Hey, it's free. You ain't got to do much. Just hit the like button and share it. That's all I'm asking. But until next time, you guys can catch my next show. It'll air on 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday. So I'll have some more stuff to talk to you guys about that. Until next time, man, this is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out, y'all. This episode of Clutch Sports Talk Live with Ryan Flowers was presented by All Pro Digital Sports, the future in sports media content. Let's go.